We also watched in theaters the 2024 film Look Back, because I wanted to watch it, and I drug other people to it too. Blake also watched it.
I also wanted to see it.
You wanted to see it, Nico. I don't know if Tanner was particularly interested. Were you interested in watching this movie?
No, I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, fair enough. I think Dylan maybe wanted to see it, probably like a kind of a middling interest, but he wasn't able to see it, so he'll give his review some other time, I guess. This is, of course, a movie about two Japanese chicks that I don't know the name of because I forgot. And
it's Fuji and Moto.
Yeah, Tatsuki Fujimoto, author of Chainsaw Man, of course. This is a one-shot that he made after finishing part 1 of Chainsaw Man about two young artists. We've got one who is drawing comics that she thinks is funny, but her art's not that great. She inspires another artist who's really good at backgrounds to start doing the same thing. They don't ever really meet each other until they're in middle school, and in which case they they finally meet. There's like a touching moment of them realizing who each other are and what drives them, and they start making manga together. They get a bunch of really big hits. They start making some decent money, and then they split up because the background chick wants to study art more deeply, and they go their separate ways until she fucking dies because she gets axed to death in art school. And then there's a little look back of what life could have been if they had chose to not, become friends later on. And then the movie, sets back into reality of that's not what this is how reality it ends on a somber note of her, reminiscing and mourning about her lost friend.
Fun fact, the main character's names, Fujino,
I think, yeah.
Fujino and Kyomoto combined to make the creator's name, Fujimoto.
Wow.
Nico already said that, you hack.
Well...
He did it in a very subtle way, though, so understandable you didn't know.
Yeah.
Are they lesbians?
Potentially alludes to. This is an hour-long movie. The pacing feels quite quick. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, though, because I think it does a lot with its runtime. Let's get some obvious positives out of the way. This is a beautifully animated movie.
Oh, absolutely. It's got a solid score, too.
Yeah, the fucking soundtrack is really good. It was carrying a lot of the emotional scenes for me. But yeah, the character animation itself is fucking super crazy. They all seem incredibly realistic and lifelike. It is a gorgeous movie to watch just from that perspective, even if you don't particularly care about the plot. It's like going to see like fucking, Fantasia? Like the Disney movie. It's just some nice shit to look at, And of course they also have a plot, which... I don't think this movie particularly connected with any of us, what the message is trying to say about, like what drives you to keep going, potentially. Why do you do what you do? And in a sense, it's why you love art and why you continue to draw. They asked the question of, like why each character was doing that, what was keeping them going. And in the case of the chick that died, it was because she wanted to be with Fujino. I remembered her fucking name. It came to me. Brain blast. It's Fujino. Yeah, she wanted to connect with her, she wanted to be with her friend, and then they split ways because she realized that she was kind of maybe holding her back. There's some deep subtleties that go into it. I don't think any of us particularly connected with it. I was on Twitter after we watched this movie, as I normally am, and people were praising the fuck out of this movie, and I definitely resonate with what they're saying, and it definitely kind of brought it into a new light for me. What'd you guys think about it? I'm done yapping.
Dude, here's a question for you, Jackson, and also Tanner, I suppose, if he wants to answer it. Does the alternate timeline that we see beg the question that, fucking Moto's life would have been better had Fujino never come into it?
I mean, I guess it definitely seems that way, but then the little montage they do afterwards, I think is trying to paint the picture of, she is alive, but they're not connected, and she's maybe not happy necessarily in what she's doing. They show a lot of the joy and love that she was feeling when hanging out with Fujino, and we don't really see a whole lot of that. She's just kind of going through the motions of her life. Obviously, she's not dead. That's a big plus. But the whole reason that she got out of her cave and even got to start doing the things that she loved was because she was interacting with Fujino and came to connect with her. So I think it's just asking a question of the audience. Maybe even like the city mouse versus country mouse thing, where is life better if you're, going out of your comfort zone and, risking things over, staying indoors all night and just being safe and comfortable. And in this case, I guess it's up to the audience, but I think for whatever her name is, Dead Girl, it was that she probably preferred life with Fujino and the.
But her big thing was that she wanted to go to the college so she can get out there and start doing things herself. But we still see her do that in the alternate timeline. She's still there.
I mean, she went to college. You wouldn't see her really like interacting with it.
I feel like we didn't really see enough to really.
You could imply that maybe she probably still is, just because what her initial goal was. Otherwise, we don't see any evidence to the contrary. I feel like the point of the look back scene itself is because we see that comic come back. I feel like the comic is coming from Dead Girl Moto, and the point of it is to like inspire Fujino to keep going. I feel like that is her sending back that she is, fine with her lot, and that, she's okay with the ending that she got, and because, trying to inspire Fujino to keep going in the same way that Fujino got her to come out and enjoy life.
Hold on a second.
What's up, Tanner?
So the main theme of Chainsaw Man is called Kickback, and the manga they make in this movie is Shark Kick. And we watched Shark Tale 2 weeks ago. And A Knight's Tale is a movie. Wait. I thought it was a cute little film. I don't really have any thoughts beyond that.
Speaking of Shark Kick, though, that's just one of many little Easter eggs that this film has for all of us Fuji heads out there, Shark Kick, obviously a play on Fire Punch, which was the one that I started with that Jackson initially recommended to me. But also, like, all the covers are very reminiscent of Chainsaw Man, which is pretty sweet. When they're, like, in the movie theater, it looks like, from what I'm assuming, was a scene from, like, Goodbye Airy, potentially, Maybe we'll get a film of that at some point. That would be pretty cool. And, like, a lot of the illustrations and stuff that we see throughout the film also, I'm pretty sure that those are just directly taken from his various manga. Do you know if that's the case, Jackson?
I've literally only read Fire Punch and Chainsaw Man. I'm a fake Fujimoto fan.
Okay.
Dude,
I didn't even know that Fire Punch thing. That's crazy.
Fire Punch is fucking badass. You read that shit, dude.
It's neat.
It's about a guy that's on fire, but he's immortal, so he can't die, so he's constantly burning him. It's badass.
Dude, buy him for me and I'll read them.
Dude, you can literally pirate that shit.
But outside of that, I don't know. I didn't have too much else to really say about the film. I thought it was cute as well. It was a very cute little film.
Same, yeah. Like I alluded to, this movie didn't really hit me very emotionally.
Yeah.
I could understand why it'd be a very emotionally charged movie. Like, for somebody that is in the perspective of an artiste, I could see this movie connecting with them a lot more. It didn't particularly hit that line with me. But just like seeing the struggle of them, I think the characterization too, I didn't really talk about that either, but the characterization of her is really good as well, Fujino. She's a very defined person. I think she acts within her boundaries of a character very well for the most part. I think just generally the writing in this movie is very strong from an artistic perspective as well. And I will be giving it an A. I wish I could give it higher, honestly. But yeah, I really just didn't connect with it like that. But it is a very strong movie just from like an artistic perspective.
Man, I wish I could give it higher. I'm giving it like an A- though. Because, yeah, just like you, I didn't. Even as an artist, I just didn't connect with it quite as much as I would have liked to.
I gave it a B+.
We're like a cute little line.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun? And that landed at an A-, unsurprisingly.
You didn't say what Dylan gave it.
Because he didn't fucking watch the movie, goddammit.
Oh, yeah. Oops.
He'd probably give it like an S+.
Yeah, more than likely. It's an animated film that tries to make you feel things.
I wish it made me feel things. This movie was so insanely hyped up. People are talking about this like as the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this shit has like a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes currently, I think.
Yeah, it's like a little bit less than a 9 out of 10 on my AMA list, which I think is a lot more reasonable.
Yeah.
I do think it's a really good movie. I'd like to watch it again at some point, maybe after a bit more pondering. Like, I have pondered quite a bit on this movie already, and I think I maybe would like it the second time over. And it's a really fast movie, so it's not like it'd be like wasting that much time. It's like not even.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad we watched it. The crowd of this movie was fucking hilarious. It was just like exactly like my anime club I went to in college for like 2 days until I quit because it was awkward as fuck.
Yeah, 90% dudes and just like the girls that they somehow managed to convince to come with them.
Except for those, was it two girls that tried sitting in the seat that you had Blake sit in?
Yeah.
I can't remember. That was funny as fuck too. It was like these two girls. So we booked 4 or 5 seats, and because Dylan didn't show up, we had like an extra spot that I had refunded, and we kind of just assumed nobody would have purchased that seat. So Nico was like, "Yeah, Blake, sit in that chair." So we did, and then we had like Blake in a gap between him and Tanner or something. And these two people come over and they're just like insanely awkward, like they don't know what to fucking say. They can't come up with like a sentence of like, hey, you're sitting in our seat, so I just have to fucking mediate it. It was like the most anime crowd or anime watcher crowd of all time.
Yeah. I personally did not perceive it as being like overwhelmingly male. In fact, I feel like I noticed more women in there than anything.
I did notice a lot of women. I also don't agree with Nico's analysis of that. I think there was.
I was just trying to paint
mix.
a picture. You know, it was a soliloquy. You know, it wasn't based on reality at all.
The real question is how many troons were in there.
There also was like a director's talk or something at the end of it. I can't remember like what it was. We didn't see that shit because we didn't fucking care. We were like the only people in the theater that didn't watch that shit too. So we're just fucking walking out.
No,
like
I saw one other hero
feels...
stand up and leave before us.
Fucking go. That theater was packed, by the way.
It was.
That movie was fucking popping.
Yeah, which, by the way, it has a 100% currently critic score and 98% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Imagine being a critic and being a hater of this movie, dude. That's just hating art itself, man. You know, right. It's a risky deal. By the way,
did you guys cry at all? Did this movie bring you to tears?
No.
I get really easily emotionally manipulated. No. I'm very easy to cry. I definitely got a little teary-eyed during like a couple of scenes, but yeah, I never actually like cried.
Yeah, I definitely heard quite a few people in the audience crying alongside us.
I actually didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
I wasn't super cognizant of the crowd after we were watching.
Gotcha.
I kept smelling like these fucking potatoes or some shit that the person next to me was eating.
I was gonna do a bit where I was gonna say, I'll just tell you guys a quick summary of what the director's thing was, and then start saying random Japanese words, but I can't. Why does searching random Japanese words not just pop up something for me to say, you know?
It just pops up a bunch of like katakana and shit, you can't read it.
Yeah. Exactly. It's bullshit. That would have been such a funny bit. But anyway.
Anyways, this meta talk about the movie's gone long enough. Cut, I say.